Ignition sequence starts. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I went on Amazon. I had ordered an office chair, one of those swivel chairs that was like an ergonomic deal. Well, the thing was just not comfortable to me, and so I went back on Amazon and I went full boat and got a nice executive office chair. And this thing, I mean, it's kind of like I just got upgraded to first class. And so now I'm just kind of sitting here spinning in my chair and really comfortable and enjoying myself. And my butt does not hurt now. And so that's what we're going to get you started with today. Okay, XRP Yo-Yo sent me this. This is an interesting clip about the Faster Payments Task Force. And how they're supposed to go live with, I think they've been saying that this is off sometime in the future, but listen to what this guy says. Pretty interesting clip.
Faster, ubiquitous, broadly inclusive, safe, and efficient payment system in the U.S. by 2020. Did I say 2020? Only 3 years from now? I sure did, echoing the 320 payments industry stakeholders that served on the task force. These members represent an unprecedented mix of financial institutions, businesses, consumer advocacy groups, government agencies, fintech firms, and many, many others. In the report, the task force lays out an ambitious near-term vision for the U.S. payment system, as well as outlining 10 recommendations for specific activities to support the goal. The goal is a shiny new payment system that will deliver broad benefits to American consumers and businesses by delivering real-time, data-rich payments. The report also includes a treasure trove of ideas for implementing faster payment capabilities. In the report, you'll find expert assessments of 16 end-to-end faster payment solution proposals. Rich dialogue between task force members and solution providers was key to enhancing these proposals. By design, the task force did not pick a winner or a best solution. We're going to leave that for the marketplace to decide.
So anyway, by the way, for those of you that don't know, Ripple, Ryan Zagone from Ripple was on that task force. And so it should be pretty interesting to watch how all that unfolds. Now, before I get going anymore, I wanted to tell. I had a lot of people ask me, since I'm in Georgia in the United States, if I was affected by the hurricanes. And last night the hurricane came through here. Luckily, I had just taken down a rotted pine tree because the winds, I believe, got up to like 40 miles an hour, and you could hear the trees blowing. But the pine tree that was against my son's bedroom was taken down just a few days ago, and so I didn't have to keep one eye open last night. All right, so I tweeted this out today and by the way, I'm leaning back in my comfortable chair, and hopefully I won't fall asleep here because it is really comfortable. When Polysign is what I tweeted out today, and remember, Polysign is supposed to go live in 2020. They said so. I just thought we needed a little reminder. And if you look here, you'll see all these crappy videos that my son keeps pulling up. Not the other two, but this one over here on the right that was showing was like these silly cartoons that my son watches all the time. And I guess my account is hooked up to his. Okay. CoinDesk, the Libra Association, the organization developing the Facebook-led cryptocurrency payments project, has hired a banking heavyweight with 25 years at HSBC. And here's the article. It says the Geneva. So Libra, this Libra thing is based in Geneva, Switzerland still. They haven't changed that, even though I remember the Congress people having a problem with that. These guys with this Libra project, they're going forward. And then it goes on to talk about this guy's background, HSBC. So Libra is going to be a thing. Okay, XRP Crypto Wolf, crypto lending and borrowing platform I Have Cred will support the Spark distribution airdrop to XRP holders. That's a big deal. This Cred is who, I believe that's who Uphold uses for their interest-paying XRP product. XRP Crypto Wolf also sent this out. Ripple Senior Vice President of Customer Success Marcus Treacher and Head of Unit Digital Finance DG FISMA European Commission I'm not going to go through all those names. He's going to be at this blockchain for Europe. Marcus Treacher, that's what you really need to know. And when is this? October the 8th is when this is. So stay tuned for that. Michelle Vandenberg sent me this. Steve Mnuchin. As innovation advances financial technology, the U.S. is determined to keep the global financial system safe from the use of these technologies. For malign purposes, today, U.S. Treasury sanctioned 2 individuals for stealing virtual currency from Americans. So Steve Mnuchin, they all seem to be focused on virtual currencies. Now, this is another tweet Michelle Vandenberg sent me. You got that, public? Opt out of this madness, people. Watch this. This is from the Federal Reserve, from his speech yesterday.
The public will understand pretty well what we want. It's actually pretty straightforward. We want to achieve inflation that averages 2% over time. And if we do that, inflation expectations will be right at 2%, and that'll help us achieve 2% inflation over time. I think that
help us. They want to achieve inflation. I always love this. But here's the crazy part. It's like I tell you all the time on this channel. Goldman and the boys and all these people on Wall Street, they're all held up as geniuses, when the truth of the matter is, just like what happened with Warren Buffett back during the financial crisis, these guys are allowed to do legalized insider trading because they make the laws. Well, it's no different here. With the Federal Reserve, they're able to talk about inflation as if they're these authorities, but who defines what inflation is? Well, they do. They're the ones that get to tell you what inflation is and what it is not. But they're not in my grocery store, and they're not in your grocery store when they start talking about inflation. You think Jerome Powell has to go to Publix to pick up groceries? I doubt it. But he's able to take those groceries out of the definition of inflation. He can do that. So this is madness. It's complete madness. And that is why this is going to happen. Listen to what this guy said. He's interviewing with one of the people from Kitco. Listen to what he says.
How is the rest of the play going to end? The rest of the 2/3 of this story. Where are we headed now?
So as this goes, people are going to slowly realize that, like I was saying about saving up, $10 million to earn 70 grand in interest, it's totally impossible. I mean, how would my grandfather today tell me, just get a job and save? I mean, who can save $10 million just working? So you have to speculate. So it's going to turn everyone into a speculator. Now, gold has not seen that speculative mania yet, and that's coming. Yeah. That's ahead of us still. So that's why we had the $2,500 gold target for this year, which I want to revisit that with you. Our target for the end of the year is $2,500. Now, we're not saying gold will finish over that. We're saying gold will touch that by the end of the year. It's a very important distinction. We think silver hits 40. Think about that. That's a 62.5 to 1 ratio, which is about the historic average. $2,500 gold and $40 silver. These markets haven't become speculative yet. They're just now starting to see serious cash flow. Berkshire Hathaway. Now, I don't know if you know this, but if you bought an ounce of gold on January 1st of 2000 and you bought the equivalent number of dollars worth of Berkshire Hathaway, gold outperformed Berkshire Hathaway. It outperformed Berkshire Hathaway stock. So Buffett doesn't pay a dividend. Gold doesn't pay a dividend. Okay. You can look at these things fairly equally. And if you just bought physical gold, you outperformed the world's most famous investor. And now he's buying Barrick Gold. Why is he buying Barrick Gold? Because the operating margin is twice Microsoft, because the dividend yield is higher than Microsoft, because the company's fundamentals and metrics are far superior to the other companies in the market that have been levitated. He's on to something. And it's going to go farther. There's going to be more of this.
Exactly. This guy just knocked it out of the park with that. Look, gold, silver, XRP, and maybe Bitcoin if that's your thing. But I'm telling you, the mania hasn't even begun. The mania is coming, and that guy's right. Riz XRP made me aware of a couple of things. The first thing, I wanted to show you this. I've seen that this was going around a while back. This is, for those of you that have seen the parody articles from XRP, the production, XRP Productions, before he was doing parodies, he used to do video work, as I recall. And I believe he's the one that created this video. This summarizes XRP and what XRP and Ripple is better than any short 2-minute video you'll ever watch. If you do nothing else, take this Peter Pumpkin Eater tweet and spread this around and send this video to your friends and family the ones that don't understand what Ripple is doing, because they need to know before it's too late. And it will be too late sooner rather than later, folks.
Some say cryptocurrency, a digital medium of value exchange. Bitcoin was the first, 2009. Used cryptography and blockchain technology. No single computer or entity had control of the network. This was a breakthrough, a big one. Bitcoin caught on, but even people who loved it saw problems, big problems. Consumed too much energy, had trouble scaling without congesting the network. Enter some really smart guys in 2011. Wrote some new code, used the good aspects of Bitcoin, got rid of the bad. Smart guys were successful. XRP and XRP Ledger was born. What's so great about it? Massively more efficient. Needs a tiny fraction of Bitcoin's energy. Much faster transactions. 3 seconds, not hours or days. Incredibly inexpensive. Fractions of a penny to send no matter how large the amount. Scales greatly. 1,500 transactions per second compared to Bitcoin's 6. Open source. Anyone can download the software and run a node on the network. Decentralized. Nodes are run by unaffiliated independent people and entities all over the world. Has a built-in exchange. Anyone can use it to send any value as quickly and cheaply as XRP. At inception, 100 billion XRP was created. Listen carefully. There will never be any more. Never! It's baked into the protocol. After creating it, the inventors gifted a large portion to a company called Ripple. Ripple planned to use XRP as on-demand liquidity for cross-border settlement. Why? Look up Modern Nostro/Vostro settlement. It's slow, it's old, and it sucks. Ripple has over 200 bank and financial institution clients. Some are already using XRP for on-demand liquidity. Many others want to start using XRP. Heard of MoneyGram? Of course you have. Other individuals and companies are also using XRP or are planning to. How? In exciting ways. Look up web monetization at Coil.com. Scooter Braun, Gaming with Forte, XRP Tipbot. With its attributes and the entities building out its ecosystem. XRP's utility is growing every day and is expected to grow exponentially in the coming years. Welcome to the future. Welcome to the Internet of Value.
All right. I'll finish it. I wanted to let you see. Welcome. I find it interesting. XRP. There's a satellite going into outer space right there. Good job. XRP, the Standard Productions. Now, this was also... Riz XRP also brought this to my attention. Yesterday, I showed you a Jim Rickards clip from part 1 of this. Well, there was a part 2, and I didn't realize he kept going and kept talking about all this. Back in 2018, I'm telling you, Jim Rickards knows, he has known what the deal was all along. Listen to what he says in this thing.
Say that we fast forward a year, 2 years in advance, and let's say Bitcoin has another big resurgence and another big price movement. And at this point, let's say the U.S. government or any other major economy says, this is enough. We're going to shut this down. Okay.
Right.
I personally feel that you've had so much entrenchment into the finance industry at that point. I mean, we now have CME with derivatives wrapped around this. We're potentially going to have ETF vehicles now that the derivatives are in place that are then going to be wrapped around this. We're going to have options that are then wrapped around the ETF vehicles and everything else. So don't you kind of feel like the longer that the government doesn't make a decision on this, the harder it's going to be for them to actually shut it down? What's your thoughts on that?
I think the decision's already been made. I mean, it's an interesting hypothetical, but the decision has already been made. And the fact that Bitcoin's way off the top, it's not just the price has dropped 70%, which it has, but the...
Now, remember, folks, this is the same guy in the first part of this clip who said that Stellar XLM, which is very similar to XRP, is one of the good ones. It's one of the ones that's going to be used for micropayments and all that, and it's going to succeed, or it looks like it's going to succeed. This is back in 2018. He said that, and also remember, this guy has contacts all the way into the CIA. This guy's been connected for a long time. So he's not speaking out of turn when he says he thinks it's already been decided. And he's talking about Bitcoin because he's always been very anti-Bitcoin because it has no use case. Listen to him.
Volumes have dropped. So you're not seeing the transaction volume. A lot of exchanges have been shut down, more under scrutiny. But the point being, a lot of people are getting a very rude awakening about reporting their crypto profits. Some people are going to roll the dice and not report them. They have a good chance of landing in jail. Those who do report them are like, well, wait a second. I got my Bitcoin. I bought it 1,000. I sold it at 12,000. I swapped into Ripple. I still have crypto, but you're trying to tell me I owe 10,000 a coin. On 1,000 coins, it's $10 million. And I owe $4 million in tax when all I have is Ripple. I mean, that's what's happening. You got to pay the tax in dollars, even if you rolled into Ripple or Ether. So people are just finding out the hard way that the rules apply to them. As far as the derivatives are concerned, I remember when late last summer, early fall 2017, when the Chicago Board Options Exchange and NASDAQ were announcing all these derivatives, and all the Bitcoin groupies were jumping out of the seats. Yay, look at us. We're real. We're respectable. These big established institutions are launching derivatives on our currencies. That validates the use case in our currencies. And I said, man, you don't know anything about derivatives. They're going to crush you. And if you look at when the Bitcoin future was launched and when the market broke, same day. In other words, one of the reasons it went up was because there was no way to short it. The minute you could create short interest, it's like, hey, bring it on. So I just said, be careful what you wish for. And those derivatives have proved the undoing. The Bitcoin might have gone to $40,000 if.
By the way, I wanted to stop right here and point out an article. Jim Rickards just knocked it out of the park on that too, because this is the article I've shown you before. Trump administration popped the 2017 Bitcoin bubble, ex-CFTC chair says. This is Christian Carlo. They say it in this article, they intentionally popped it by creating the Bitcoin futures. It was all part of the plan, and Jim Rickards knew, he knew what was going to happen, and it happened. Okay. That's why they created the futures, to rein in Bitcoin. Well, I find it interesting that now, same guy, Christian Carlo, is running the Digital Dollar Project and works for a law firm that represents Ripple. All of this is connected, folks. Keep listening.
If you had never invented a way to short it, but they did, and it went straight down after that. As far as the Chicago boys are concerned, they'll trade anything for a buck. I mean, they don't care. They're not Bitcoin supporters. They're supporters of commissions. You know, soybeans, lumber, pork bellies, Bitcoin. It's all the same. If they can make a spread, if there's any vig in it, they'll trade it. So the combination of the fact that they did it for reasons of their own that had nothing to do with supporting the Bitcoin community, and B, the minute you could short it, it fell like a rock, dropped off a high building. That tells you all you need to know about derivatives.
So, Jim, I have to ask you, what's the bull case? Like, I hear like all the bear arguments, and I think you have a lot of good arguments, and they're well researched. I'm very, very curious now about why can you be wrong, or why would Bitcoin be the currency or storage of value of the future?
Well, it might outperform coal like the pet rock. I mean, I don't have a good bull case for Bitcoin. See, if you say...
Okay, I'm not going to play any more of that, but there was another, say, 4 or 5 minutes of that. But I'm going to move on. Okay, now, this I find interesting, folks. Okay? Remember yesterday? Yesterday, it was announced that Kraken had gotten they were going to be the first bank, crypto exchange that becomes a U.S. bank. Well, on the same day, David Schwartz goes in and replies to a tweet from January 8th, 2019, to his own tweet. His tweet from January 8th, 2019 is, "It's irresponsible when exchanges misrepresent digital assets in this way. Ripple is a private company, different from XRP or the XRP ledger. They're not interchangeable, and there's no disputing it." And he's taking issue with a tweet from Kraken. Ripple is only one example of a blockchain which has had problems. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zcash, you name it, have all had their share of problems. This is what markets are for. People disagree and can invest accordingly. Deplatforming is not the answer. So David Schwartz is taking issue with Kraken here. So remember, For those of you that don't know, the way this all went down is Jesse Powell and at least this is the history that we're supposed to that they say it is. Jesse Powell and Jed McCaleb, who started Ripple and then went on to start Stellar, they were both at Ripple and early investors from the very beginning. The way the story goes, Jed McCaleb had a falling out with Chris Larson and leaves. And at that time, I haven't seen the answer to this, but I'm assuming that Jesse Powell was also, just reading between the lines, some type of a Bitcoin maxi or whatever, and was angered over the same thing at the time they left. I don't know if that's how this happened, but I know that the story is Jed McCaleb left because of a disagreement over, I guess, distribution or whatever of the XRP or whatever. All right. So, but what I find fascinating is that this tweet has been there since January 8th of 2019, where David Schwartz was taking exception with Kraken. Well, he comes fast forward. Now look, if you look, the last time that anybody said anything was this guy on January 9th, a reply to David Schwartz's tweet. So then David Schwartz goes back, finds the tweet, and then yesterday, the same day that it's announced that Kraken's a bank, replies to this guy's reply to the tweet from January 9th, 2009. And he says, the company didn't exist when XRP was created. We didn't start soliciting investment in the company until we could demonstrate the working ledger. We say that for one reason and one reason only, because it's true. And then, what are the coincidences of this, folks? Then he replies again. He says, I know it sounds ridiculous today, but investors at that time were concerned that creating any kind of a cryptocurrency was fundamentally illegal and insisted it to be complete before they were willing to form a company. And he's talking about Liberty Dollars. He's linked an article here. And then he replies again, says, it is misleading to say Ripple had nothing to do with the creation of XRP. The people who created XRP are pretty much the same people who created Ripple, and they created Ripple originally to, among other things, distribute XRP. And then, so I think that's where it ends. But I just find this bizarre and interesting that David Schwartz happens to reply to this the same day that Kraken gets designation as a bank. Out of all the days to pull that, because one of the things I always remembered, I remembered Jesse Powell, that I couldn't remember what the tweet was or what I had seen, but I think this is the tweet where I realized Jesse Powell had an issue, or we were supposed to believe he had an issue. Okay. Now also, 2 days ago, Brad Garlinghouse tweeted this, and we showed this to you. Disappointing to see India flip-flop on crypto, hamstringing a nascent industry which could serve one of the biggest populations of unbanked and underbanked citizens. And he's tweeting this article about India planning to ban trade in cryptocurrencies. All right. Well, then this is what's bizarre about this. So then today we get this tweet from Ganesh Haramoth. Huge news, Indian government report for XRP DLT, page 15. End of 2020, boom, all quarters firing simultaneously. So a whole write-up about Ripple system uses XRP tokens, The timeline targeted for switching to DLT-based clearing and settlement system is towards the end of 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And this is from this report of the committee to propose specific actions to be taken in relation to virtual currencies from 28th of February 2019. And whose report is it? Department of Economic Affairs, Ministry of Finance, New Delhi, India. So I don't know how we reconcile this with this. Okay. But I'm sure we'll find out. Okay. I wanted to let you know, there's a link to this in the description of all my videos, and they're linqto.com. If you want to go sign up for an account, and the accounts you can open one if you're an accredited investor. They just added some new private equity to their platform. It's a company called SoFi. Let me see how many shares they don't have many shares up there. It looks like they've got 5,238 shares. So if you're going to get any, you better grab them. But I wanted to briefly show you what this company is. Provider of innovative student lending platform intended to start refinancing student loans. The company's platform includes online banking, personal mortgage, wealth management, enabling members to receive a lower interest rate based on their career experience, monthly income, financial history, and education. SoFi is a finance company that offers a range of lending and wealth management services. The company primarily caters to early stage professionals and offers variable and fixed rate parent, personal, and MBA loans, mortgage financing, and more. They're based in San Francisco, founded in 2011. Now, this is their website. And if you look at their products, they've got borrowing, they got student loan refinancing, private student loans, personal loans, home loans, and investing in crypto, ETFs, stock. They've got these different, all kinds of products, business financing. So I was going to play you a brief explanatory video on SoFi just so you know who they are.
Investing is weird, but weird doesn't stop you from doing other things, like swiping right to find the love of your life, riding a grown-up size scooter to your very grown-up job, and then there's kombucha. Those things are weird, and people do them all the time. So why does the fact that investing is weird stop people from doing it, when weird doesn't stop us from watching sand-cutting videos, ASMR, and salmon swimming upstream? Because investing actually is weird. Yep. Stocks are weird. When you own a stock, you own an invisible slice of a company's pie. The more slices of different companies you buy, the more diversified your portfolio becomes. Investors are weird. They don't look like you, yet. But once you have that light bulb moment, like today maybe, they will. Which is good because when it comes to investing, time is your best friend. Risk is weird. Risk is like your ex's social media profile. It exists, sure, but you can't let it distract you from doing you. So why not give free investing a swirl with SoFi? Because we do things differently. Unlike other ways to invest, we charge you 0 fees to trade stocks and ETFs, connect you one-on-one with financial planners to talk through your big picture money goals, and host happy hours, workshops, and more for our members. Investing is weird, until you do it with SoFi. Start trading at SoFi.com/invest now. Get your money right.
Looks like a pretty cool platform. I wanted to make you all aware. I've been telling you about how I've been buying these unstoppable domains, and there's a link in the description of all my videos on this too. But they just announced that you can now send emails with your unstoppable domains. And I wanted to show you this little video they made that shows you how to do it. How cool is that? And when I talked to Tim Draper, this is the one company that he's invested in that he brought up as the thing he was most excited about. So if you haven't gotten your unstoppable domains, either something you want to use or just as buying like a piece of real estate online, go in the description of my video or the comment section. You'll see the link. This is a very exciting part of what we're going through right now. I wanted to finish with this quote. The positive thinker sees the invisible, feels the intangible, and achieves the impossible. Winston Churchill. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, and tell your friends and family that I have a very comfortable new office chair. Thank you for listening.
Every day, billions of people around the world are mocked, ridiculed, laughed at, and embarrassed by their friends, family, and even strangers. These people go through their days knowing there are secrets being kept from them. They hear the faint whispers behind closed doors. The information and knowledge is held very close and only shared with others who were fortunate enough to find out. Feeling lost, rejected, and ostracized, these people give up, never finding out what digital assets the digital asset investor holds. But there is hope. Join the free Digital Asset Investor email newsletter and find out what digital assets he owns each month, including investments he's considering. Click the link in the description of this video or go to digitalassetinvestornewsletter.com. Put an end to your days of gloom and depression. Join the greatest free digital asset email newsletter ever created.